I have been told it is fundamentally embedded in our nature to explore. This has never been more true, even now, when we, humanity, are so focused in our steadfast mission to survive. We've never been more desperate to see the unknown. Our desire to discover cannot be suppressed, not even now. Especially not now. We have an obligation to learn and to further our own knowledge. To be better, because we have to be better. Today, we send Hermes, an unmanned probe, into Saturn's atmosphere. It will still take a couple of months to get there, but we can all feel a sense of pride knowing our work will matter. The knowledge gain,
We interrupt this scheduled broadcast for a breaking news update from the Sticky Buttons podcast.
Yo, yo, yo. Welcome to the Sticky Buttons podcast. This is your host, Brandon.
And this is Blake. And welcome to the Sticky Buttons podcast.
We're coming at you with a pretty stacked episode today. We are going to talk about some of the Nintendo Switch Online games that you can play, some of the classics. How do you feel about the classics, Blake?
Ooh, man, it's a whole lineup, dude. It's like 100 plus games. They're all retro. Well, they feel retro to me. I'm sure they feel retro to you too. They're kind of old. A lot of them are from like the not 60s. Jeez. Excuse me. I think a lot of them are from the 80s and 90s is what it really is.
Retro.
I haven't really played very many of these. I mean, obviously we checked some out for this episode, but before that I had not really played too many.
Yeah, me either. I never really gave the SNES. That's what they call it, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Never really had those before.
Yeah, me neither.
Just kind of being born in 2000, I kind of missed that whole like era. But it's fun to see those titles, just browsing through that gallery. I saw titles like Punch-Out, which if you played Super Smash Bros., there's a character called Little Mac, who's a boxer, and boy, do I love using Little Mac. He's such a fun character to just play with and knock people out. And I didn't know he came from Punch-Out, and it was nice to see that, and I like explored that a little bit. So many titles where it's like, oh, that's where that came from. It's like, it's way old. A lot of these titles go way back than that I thought of. And yeah. I don't know, do you feel the same way?
I do feel the same way. It kind of feels like a game catalog from the past that you kind of get to dive into, kind of almost like a game library.
Yeah.
You get to check stuff out that you never would have been able to check out before. And it's just really exciting. I thought that the prospect of like watching the trailers and just kind of looking at the gameplay and just knowing that I could have these on my Switch was like really, really awesome. Because it's like I would just jump in and just look at them and like play them for like 5-10 minutes, and that's really cool. It's like a whole catalog, like an encyclopedia of gaming history.
Encyclopedia, if you will. Yeah, it can take you back to like a specific time in history when people were playing those games. And that's something I like to think about as well. Like when I was playing like Super Metroid, like just thinking about like what was going on in the world during that time. I believe it was like 89 that Super Metroid came out. Like it says the year in the bottom. It says like the copyright and then like the year Nintendo. And yeah, that's something I think about. Like Nintendo is this company that has been making games for a really long time, and they've gotten pretty good at it.
It's really crazy. Some of the one of the ones that I checked out was from 1997, and I was born in 1997. And just to see like in my lifetime what games looked like then and like what they look like now, it's crazy.
Definitely, it really is. And like the mechanics, like you would think that like being alive in this time period where we have 4K Ultra HD and we can play like games with many people because of the internet, that we wouldn't enjoy these games. But it's just something about like the simplicity of it.
It feels very fresh. Everything feels excuse me, everything feels like it really clicks. together, at least for the ones that I played.
Very fluid, kind of. You can just tell that there was a lot of time spent, making this game fun.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I think that as far as touch on the game mechanics, a lot of the games that are on the Nintendo Online, a lot of them are either side scrollers, fighting games, or turn-based combat kind of games.
Which ones out of those do you prefer the most? Do you have a favorite?
I would probably say I probably like the turn-based combat the best.
Okay.
I have gotten into side scrollers. I feel like that's kind of always been like my Achilles heel of gaming, because I've never really been like super into them. Like, I've always played Mario's, but like I've never really like been like so into them. But like we talked about a couple episodes ago, Gris is a side scroller, and I absolutely love that game. So just kind of seeing it and its kind of origins it's really awesome. And like I said, it really kind of feels like just this library of gaming history.
Definitely. I can't agree more, man. What
Which one is your favorite out of those three?
I would probably have to say side scrollers.
Really?
Just because I've had like out of the games that I've had experience with, side scrollers are the ones that I remember the most.
Have you played any modern side scrollers recently?
What are some examples of modern side scrollers?
They have a couple. They have actually the category of side scrollers has been like really popular in like the indie games on the Switch. Like, obviously, like Gris is one that we've talked about, but I think there's also like Cuphead is one. Have you heard of Cuphead?
A Cuphead sounds familiar. I've heard of like Yoshi's Crafted World.
Oh yeah.
That
Well, I
one's
haven't heard of that one. What's that
that
one about?
one's an interesting side scroller. You basically get to like make obstacle courses for
Oh, that's
Yoshi.
cool.
It's really interesting. Some other side scrollers, Super Mario Maker. Have you ever played that one?
I have not played that one. I have heard of that one, and basically, from what I understand, it's just kind of like you or other people that have the game can make Mario levels, and then you share your code and test them out.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
kind of like a community-driven Mario game.
It's really fun.
Do you have that one?
Yeah, I do. I bought it for my sister. I bought it for my little sister.
Do you
And
guys make anything, or do you guys play it?
she doesn't really give the game as much love. She's not really a side scroller type of gal, but I gave it some love and it was pretty fun just playing through like the community, like you were saying, the community challenges, just seeing what people came up with. It reminded me of this one game I would play on the computer growing up. It's like this Happy Wheels. Have you ever played Happy Wheels?
No, I haven't. I don't know anything about that.
So
I'm gonna look it up while you tell me about it.
So Happy Wheels is like a side-scrolling physics-based racing game, and it's just so silly. Like you can like fall off a ledge and like completely like it turns graphic.
Oh my gosh. I have seen this.
And
Oh, no
yeah,
way. It looks like you can have like different like vehicles. Like, you can either be like rolling down a ramp in a bicycle, or it looks like a wheelchair as well.
yeah,
Oof.
the
Oh, and there's all
scooter.
those spikes. Yeah, I've definitely seen people play this before. You can get like totally cut in half too.
It's a really fun side scroller, and that one it's probably a side scroller that a lot of our listeners can like say, yeah, I've definitely at least heard of that.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, as
yeah.
far as like the side scrollers go, like, honestly, sometimes I feel like the side scrolling genre just can get so frustrating. And if you're unfamiliar with what we mean by a side scroller, like Mario, the classic Marios, where you just move from the right to the left, and you have obstacles and enemies in your way and different ways to combat those. And most of the time, you really only have a couple game mechanics, like a jump or like an attack or like a shoot or something like that. But
Yeah.
as far as the more modern ones, they do get a little bit more creative, but it can be very frustrating because it's kind of just like you have to get from A to B, and if you get caught up in a spot, um,
One of the games that I actually chose is a side scroller.
I think actually two of the ones that I chose as well. So we're talking about Nintendo Online this episode. We kind of privied it a little bit, but what we decided to do was we each decided to pick 3 games and check them out and tell you guys about them. Because like we said, there's like 100 games. So if you're unfamiliar, Nintendo Online is the service that you have to pay for in order to play video games online through the Switch. And like Xbox has Xbox Live and PlayStation has one as well. And the one for Nintendo's is a little bit cheaper. It's $20, which is nice because a lot of people, I mean, like we've talked about so many times, like just the accessibility in gaming. So with Nintendo Online, you get pay $20 and you can play online with certain games, and you also get access to stream 150 plus NES and SNES games. And when we say stream, you have to be connected to the Wi-Fi or to a wireless network, or I think you can have your dock set up. If you get like a USB converter, you can have your dock wired into internet. So basically you have to be connected to the internet to play these because they're not downloaded. They're streamed through the Nintendo Online.
I wonder how that works. They probably have like a cloud server where they dispatch all the, like they just hold all that data. It's really interesting.
I think that if you pay for Nintendo Online, I think you can also have cloud saves as well, but I'm not as familiar with that.
That would be amazing for the SD cards, because all of the Switch owners out here know about just SD cards and how they can be pretty limiting later on when your Switch gets really, really full of games. Like your library,
Yeah. One thing that I have noticed that I don't know if this is going to matter, but I have noticed that on the Nintendo store, it like tells you like which games you have. So I think that if you were like, for example, if you lost your Switch and it didn't have a game in it, but you had your SD card, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I don't know if you would be able to save your saves, but I think you would still be able to download the games onto your Switch from the store.
Just off of saving the data that you have associated with your Nintendo account.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do that. One of the reasons I have it is because I pay for the subscription, and then my little sister can play online, and so can my uncle if they decide to play on the Switch. And that's really convenient. Like the family membership is actually really inexpensive. So kudos to Nintendo for that.
Yeah, I'm sure that they did that intentionally. It seems more of a family-friendly system than Xbox or PlayStation. Although I am a little bit sad that they don't have, that you can't put like Netflix and like Disney Plus. I'm sad that you like can't download those apps.
Yeah.
Switch that's a little bit sad, but that's okay.
It makes sense. I think they just don't want you killing like the processing of it on streaming, because streaming can be pretty labor intensive.
Yeah, I'm sure. And I think that part of the benefit of the Switch is how compatible the hardware is with so many other games and softwares. Back to Nintendo Online.
Yeah,
would you
I'll
like
kick
to
it
start
off.
with the
I'm gonna start.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna start with the one that I like the least. I'm gonna
Okay.
go from worst to best, and that's Super Mario Kart, the OG version. I have a lot to say about this one. There are 8 different characters from the Mario universe that you can choose between. Each character's kart has different capabilities of different levels of top speed, acceleration, handling, which is like a lot like the new Mario Kart, which is nice to see that like even back then we still had that. Mario and Luigi are the good old all-rounders, and like you can just get on Mario and Luigi and pretty easy to control and play with. Princess Peach and Yoshi have great acceleration, but like really bad handling. And Bowser and Donkey Kong Jr., they have a really good top speed, but they have shit control. Like if you get hit, you're gonna just rotate off. But I mean, you can push people around too. You can really bully with those characters. And it was fun to play. It was fun to play Super Mario Kart just seeing like the very first iteration of a game that I really love. It was nostalgic, kind of. I'm sure that wasn't the first time that I've seen that specific title. I'm sure I might have seen like somebody else playing it or played it myself. I just can't really remember when because it's just so deep in my like memories.
Definitely.
But yeah, I enjoyed the game. The reason I made it the least favorite was just because kind of bringing back that point I made earlier about having this new technology and like we should feel like this stuff is outdated. I really did feel that with Super Mario Kart, just because like drifting was a little like just too difficult with the Switch buttons, uh, and the graphics were just it was getting to me at certain points. But yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'll follow you right up with this. I also played Super Mario Kart, and it was also my least favorite. I did not like it hardly at all. I mean, like you said, it was very cool just getting to see that iteration, like the very first iteration. But also, like you said, man, like we are young, spry folks that have grown up with. I mean, like this game was made in 1992, and
Right.
it's older than both of us.
Yeah.
And it just felt so clunky. And I was really disappointed that I felt this way because before I bought Nintendo Online, I was just like scrolling through all the games that I was going to get to play. And I was like, oh, that is going to be like, it's going to be so fun to play this with like my girlfriend and like my sister and just like people that I'm with. I think it'd be like so cool to just like be able to pull up the oldest Super Mario Kart. And I just was like, nobody's going to play this. This is just so clunky. I was like, it's not even worth my time, which was kind of sad to feel that way. But then it's also like, I'm sure that they knew that, which is why they've included all of these other games.
Definitely. It's like the whole library.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot to explore. And I definitely feel like they're meant for you to just like chunk them, like play a little bit and then go to the next title. And I think there even is like a quick button to like go to next game.
Mm-hmm.
I might be wrong about that.
Yeah. There's a function when you look at the library, you can edit the order. Did you know that?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if you messed around with that at all. Because when I discovered that, I like put all the ones that I was interested in at the top. And because there are just so many that I'm like, I'm never going to even get to these because it doesn't interest me at all.
Right.
But also, if you have Nintendo Online and you go down to the bottom of your Switch, that first drop down to the left, it like takes you to the Nintendo Online like section of your Switch, and you can just watch the trailer for literally any of the games that we were talking about, and also any of the other games that are offered as well. And it just gives you like a 15 to minute long, just like little teaser clip of the game.
That's definitely a good tip, Blake, because that's something I was thinking about just looking at all these titles. All you really get is like the illustration, but behind those illustrations are some real gems. Like I'm certain there are games that like I looked at the title in the picture and I'm just like, no way am I playing that, but I'm sure it's probably like the best game I've probably ever played in my life. So I've definitely got to try all these different titles, and it's nice to have the option to use the trailer to see whether or not like actually see the game, and see whether or not it's worth your time.
Yeah, definitely. I totally agree.
As a gamer, is a question you really do have to ask yourself. There's so many like options to play with, and you got to be wise about how you use your time.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot about just what it takes to be a gamer nowadays, and you really like time is just such a precious resource. And if you can save yourself and like a time, like if you can save yourself time playing a game that you don't want to play for a game that you want to play, and if the trailer could do that for you, like absolutely like dive into that, because you do not want to waste your time, especially with some of these older ones that are clunky.
Definitely. But getting on a more positive note,
definitely.
Super Metroid is next on my list. was Super Mario Kart, like you said, it was the least favorite for you, right?
Yeah.
Cool. So I
So is
guess
this your
that's the order
second?
we're going in. Yeah, this is my second. Super
Dude,
Metroid.
I'm really excited for this one. As soon as I saw this on your list, I was like, dude, I'm so excited to hear what you have to say about this because this game in particular, if you're not familiar with Super Metroid, this is like a definite classic, and it is referenced all the time in I
Yeah.
guess the generation above us, that the people that grew up with this specifically, and a lot of people that have voices in the community really love this game. So I'm really excited to hear what you have to say about it, man.
Yeah, I mean, so Super Metroid is the last Metroid in captivity. The galaxy is at peace, and Samus Aran, um, having successfully completed her latest mission, sets off to find a new bounty to hunt. But she doesn't get far. A distress call, an exploration of an abandoned research facility, and an encounter with an old and unexpected enemy draw her back into this saga of Metroids and back to the site of her first ever encounter with them. At the time of Super Metroid's release, the majority of video games still offered heroes whose powers were set in stage 1 and didn't change all the way through the ending credit. To slowly build up Aaron's abilities over time here makes you feel much more engaged. Um, and, and even better, you don't have to. Um, there are 6 different regions of Zebes to discover, and most of them requiring you to collect some new beam or method of mobility to access, but many of Samus's power-ups are optional, um, which is really a really cool concept about this game. I'm just going to elaborate on it some more. I know that was really confusing.
That
It's
was
kind of
really
like,
good, man. I like that. It really, there's a lot
thank
of,
you.
feels like there's a lot of lore. Did you beat the game? Did you play the whole
No,
thing?
no, I did not. I did not. I played through like the first mission, um, and then I started to realize how this game really works is
Mm-hmm.
there are different pathways that you can take, like abilities that you can develop,
Oh,
or
wow.
you can just stay with like the original like skill set, um, which is really cool. Like you can choose to not use any power ups and just play the game through like that, um, and it's just a challenging game as well. It's definitely it's a side scroller because you're going left to right, although sometimes you have to go up. So does that yeah, that definitely
Yeah,
still
yeah,
counts.
it's slow side scroller.
And just the concept being in space and how they like illustrate space with like the graphics that they have is is really you got to commend them for it. They did a good job of doing that, especially with Samus. I love the colorway of Samus and like the concept of like who she is as a character. I feel like she's like very inspiring,
Mm-hmm.
and any kid who picks up this title is gonna be influenced by it and definitely remember it, which is why a generation before us like really I can see why this really like was cemented in their brains. It's such a good game, and
Yeah,
I have to play it through. I'm gonna finish it from
that's
start
that's
to
a
finish.
it's a big undertaking, man. I'm excited that you're kind of doing that. I would be really interested to play along with you on this, just to kind of have like some more takes on this because gosh, it just seems like even from just hearing what you're telling me about it, it just seems like such a big game. And like I guess monumental is a better word for that. And I know a lot of people out there that played this game when it first came out were blown away that the female or that the is it protagonist? Yeah, that
Yes.
the protagonist is female. That was really cool and powerful for a lot of people. So, and I'm all about that. And I'm sure you're about that as well. So,
Hell yeah.
so I guess
I,
my some follow-ups on this. Do you play Samus in Smash Bros?
I love Samus. Yeah. Whenever
Even the
my
new one?
whenever I play with my family members, they get upset when I use Samus because I'm just a little too good with Samus.
That's awesome, man. What's her like cannon called? Does that have like a name or is it her suit, I guess? Does that have like a name or something?
Um, I think it's the Samus suit. Like I'm pretty sure it's the Samus suit because her name is Aran, Aran,
Yeah,
Samus
okay.
Aran.
That's what I was thinking of. Okay. All right.
Yeah, I want to meet the space pirate Ridley. He's also in Super Smash Bros. This big like purple dragon figure.
Is he in this game, The Last Metroid?
Yes, he is. He's one of the like final bosses that you have to fight, which is really hard. Like this game, they don't make it easy as well. Like that's something I like. Like it's very
Like the challenge of it?
kind of like figure it out. You know, like I was saying, like you have the ability to get power, use power ups, and go to like different places that you otherwise might have not. Yeah, definitely. If you can, listeners, and you included, Blake, give this title a shot. It's really, really fun.
I guess I just have one more follow-up before we move on. Now, on the last one that we talked about, the graphics and how kind of clunky it was really made a difference. Did you feel that way at all in this game?
You know, at first I was because I was playing these games in like succession.
Mm-hmm.
So at first it was like, I was bringing that attitude into it, but quickly just getting into the lore of it all and just trying to like understand like the story and how Samus fits into it all, and just the mechanisms. You can shoot in all directions, which I think was really cool. It's just a lot of exploring, getting lost in the exploring, which is something I think you might do playing Samus. I did. Yeah, I definitely. You don't think about that when like you're really trying to like.
Yeah, when you're in a good game, obviously that stuff doesn't matter. So,
Right.
And if you were able to get lost in this that quickly, then I mean, there's a reason why this one is such a huge title. So I guess I'll just go on to my second favorite. This one is the second one that I picked, or for my number 2 out of the 3 that we played, was Super Mario World. And that one is a 1990 and a 1991 for the SNES. There are a lot of Mario games included in Nintendo Online, and upon reflection, I probably would have picked a different one if I had done like a better in-depth look, but I think I made the right choice because the reason that I picked this one is because you can ride on Yoshis in this one.
Oh,
And I love riding on Yoshis.
That's awesome.
In Mario games. So basically all you have to do is there are a couple different places throughout each level where you can get
A Yoshi.
And I think what I figured out is I think you have to be like the full Mario, like or the Mario with a mushroom, and you have to have a power up in order to get the Yoshi. And and like I think in the first level you just happen upon a Yoshi, and then if you lose that Yoshi, you can get another one later in that level. But as the levels progress, like I think you have to, it just becomes harder and harder to find them. But
yeah,
like I said, I'm not the biggest side scroller guy. This one I thought it was a little bit challenging. I definitely died. And by died, I got like the game over where I used like all 5 of my Marios, and I didn't get very far in it, but it really felt very smooth to me, especially as like something that's very old. Like it's 30 years old in 1990, 1991. I was very surprised at how seamless it was, just me getting in and immediately knowing what to do. And that was, I think that really just speaks to it and why Mario is just such a popular title. But I mean, I feel like I had like a little bit of like a nostalgia trip for this one just because me and my sister played Mario, and it kind of just reminded, just like the colors and the blocks, it just kind of had that little nostalgia trip. And it also, like, this one felt very like retro to me in a good way. And like I feel like just in our lifetimes we like really kind of throw out the word retro at a lot of things, and a lot of times once like we just have like this like romanticized like view of like retro stuff. And this one in particular felt like good retro to me because I was like, oh, like it's like I get what's going on. It's very seamless. Like I understand completely, and the graphics don't really get to me. Like this one, like this felt very solid.
Now I have a question. Is that a title that you would feel comfortable like, being in a setting with like, your friends, that you'd be like, hey, like, back, play this game, you know?
Oh yeah, definitely. I did not play this as 2-player, but I would definitely play that 2-player.
There is a 2-player option on it
Mhm.
as well.
Yeah,
That's
there's a
awesome.
2-player option on that one as well. And I would, yeah, totally. If you have this, like that would be a great way to kill time, especially because with a lot of the games that we play nowadays, they're so large and you're emotionally invested in them. And at least for me, I don't necessarily like, if I'm like, oh, like a game that I'm like really enjoying. Sometimes I'm like, I don't really want to show people this because I'm like, I just like, this is for me. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Right.
this would be something that like you could honestly spend 5 minutes or a couple hours doing. So I would definitely recommend this one for playing with a friend.
Awesome.
Although it is a little bit challenging. So if you were not as good, you might have to like do the first level a couple times and like get some extra 1-ups just so you have a couple extra lives.
And really get like the mechanics down of it. I
Mhm.
could imagine it's not like the best.
Yeah. But I mean like it seems it's pretty seamless because the SNES has an X and a Y button as well. So when you're on the Yoshi, like you have like the ability to stick out your tongue, which is the same button that you would like throw a fire if you
Yeah.
had a fire. But you can also like I did this occasionally and this ended up like causing me to like lose my power up. I don't remember if it was like the X or the Y, but I hit the X or the Y and it flung me off the Yoshi. And I was like, man, like I was not ready to be flung off the Yoshi, and I flung myself into an enemy. Yeah, I enjoyed it for the little bit of it that I played, but we definitely recommend playing that one with a friend.
So
And
I
man,
guess I'll get
this is
into.
the big one. I
I'm gonna get
also
into.
so just like for our listeners, I can see what his next game is, and I'm also very interested to hear about this one, Brandon.
Yeah, this is. I saved the best for last. Starfox, a title that I've always like thought about. You know, when I see the characters like Fox, Falco, and Super Smash Bros. And just playing with them are really cool characters. And I don't think they're the only ones. There might be another one that's from Corneria. That's
Hmm.
like where they're from. Um, so Star Fox combines all of the prerequisites for a great game. It mixes classic gaming mechanics with tried and tested shooter playability, flying through a checkpoint ring of stars to boost health, collecting invincibility shields, and saving Nova bombs for boss battles are all classic play mechanics. And something I really wanted to point out was that the Star Wars links run deep into this game. Like details like the rogue underdog's battle against an evil empire and little touches in the game's action are respectful to the sci-fi classic. And it's a really, really fun title. Like it's one of those like Super Mario, you can just open and get to playing, you'll get it, and it's really fun. And for the time period, I mean, the graphics aren't great, but like it's interesting. The colors and the shapes.
Yeah.
It's definitely just like pleasing to the eye, and it's a fun game to just like get in there, fly your rocket ship, shoot stuff, and
Yeah, I was gonna ask, is the majority that you're just flying around in a rocket ship?
yeah, yeah, pretty much. And like you get into like formations with others, and like you do missions, and
That's cool.
there's the story is also like Samus has a pretty good story, and yeah, you get to meet all these different characters, and they're pretty silly. The characters are really cool, like animals.
Hmm.
There's a falcon, there's a fox. Um, who else is there in Star Fox? I remember.
Does it, I guess, like, as the story, is it like text box or is there like voiceovers?
It's a text box. Wolf is a really cool character. Also in the latest Smash, there's the Slippy Toad who like gives
Slippy
you
Toad?
yeah he gives you commands and stuff.
That's lit.
Um, it's a really fun title, and I would recommend it to anyone. Like definitely make sure you play this one.
How long have you put into this?
This one not really much, maybe like 2 hours. It was one of those where I would like when I got tired of like Super Mario Kart or like Samus or just trying out like the other titles, I would go to this one because I just knew like Star Fox is just it's fun.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah,
Well, I guess I'll just move on to mine. But Oh, I guess I'll add one final question. What did you just like? What was the vibe of this game?
The vibe of this game.
Like, how would you play this in the future?
Definitely, like whenever you're feeling like none of the games that I have at my disposal right now seem like they're gonna do the trick. Like Starfox is just a game that you can open up and just get into it and really enjoy, like just getting like the challenges in the game. When you get it right, the dopamine hit is like awesome. Because it's not an easy game. It really isn't. Like maneuvering, like learning how to. It has inverted steering.
Oh, I don't
Um,
like that. Can you switch it
so
off?
I'm not sure. I haven't tried. I like that aspect of it. It's like
Hmm.
it reminds me of other pilot games where there is inverted steering.
Yeah. All right, man. Well, I guess I'll move on to mine. So this is my number one. I was really excited for this one. I picked a Kirby game, and I've never played a Kirby game before.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about this one, man.
Dude, I was really into it. So the one that I ended up picking was Kirby's Dreamland 3, and it's a side scroller from 1997, the year I was
The
born.
year
I have a certain fondness
97.
for 97. But yeah, dude. First off, I just really liked it. The first couple, I guess, levels that I played through, it kind of took me a minute to figure out what was going on because there were a lot more controls than I expected, and I guess there were more rules than I had anticipated. I kind of thought it was just going to be like a Mario game, and it's like all you can do is jump.
Yeah.
But it's actually a little bit more complicated. If you've ever played Kirby in Super Smash, Kirby is able to like bulk up, and she like, I guess I don't know if it's a he or her, but Kirby takes in air inside, and she like
Yeah.
kind of bulks up like a balloon, and you're able to like jump higher. In this game, when you land, you have to expel the air, so you can't move until you expel the air.
Okay.
So, and like when you expel the air, it actually can knock an enemy away. But you
Oh,
can also inhale the enemies, and some enemies, if you inhale, you can take their abilities, which is really
that's
cool.
badass.
And there's also I I'm pretty sure that you can play this as two-player as well, because if you hit the B button while you're playing, you get like a second character, like an NPC that like plays along with you. But I'm pretty sure like a second controller could control that. And it's
Yeah.
the same kind of thing. It's just like it's like a blue guy and has
A
like a
blue
long
Kirby.
tongue. Yeah, and has like a long tongue instead of like sucking in air, like sticks the tongue out.
Okay.
It's a little bit
Like
weird.
Yoshi.
So it's a little bit unsettling because it's like really wavy and it's kind of weird. But whenever I do like a boss battle, I always just like put him out there and let him take some
He
damage.
just let him.
I
Okay.
feel kind of bad sometimes, but I mean, like you can only do it at certain times. You have to like gain the ability to have the second person.
Okay.
Yeah, so I played through, like I said, I played through the first worlds. I kind of stumbled through trying to understand the controls. And it took me about 2 settings to really kind of figure out what like the game was and how I was enjoying it.
Yeah.
And I really liked it. As far as like a side scroller goes, like I'm all about the extra colors and like the fantasy vibe. I'm all about that. And it really had like an ethereal, like fantasy dream world, which is kind of like opposed to, I mean, like Mario still kind of feels kind of fantasy, but this was definitely on like another level.
Another like I could imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
And I really thought it was easier, despite it being a little bit more complicated than Mario. I thought it was way easier just because you can endlessly jump. And because you can endlessly jump, it gives you,
more
as opposed to
maneuverability.
Mario, you can only jump once. They had puzzles that were in the air because like it gave the side scrolling another dimension because you could do puzzles in the air because you can endlessly stay in the air. But I mean,
Right.
like obviously you have to like feather it. So you have to like have like a rhythm to it to stay
Time
in the
it.
air. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I thought that was cool. Which they weren't necessarily, the puzzles weren't harder, but I thought it was way more fun than just being able to jump. So
Yeah.
I thought it was really they kind of took all the things about Mario and they made it better. I was really into that. I also really liked the mechanic where you can swallow an enemy and then You can either, so there's a couple things you can do. You can swallow an enemy, and if you do that, you just press down on the D-pad. So yeah, you just press down on the D-pad and it just disappears, and then you can swallow another enemy in your mouth. And then, but if the enemy is like an enhanced enemy, you can gain their abilities. So there's one that's like a sword, there's one that's a broom, and you just like, if you have the broom, you just sweep the enemies away, and it's kind of funny. I really like the ones that had boomerangs, because then it had an attack going and coming back. So I really like that one. Unfortunately I lost that because I swallowed somebody with another ability, and I didn't know that you could lose. That was at the time when I didn't realize that if you swallowed somebody else, you got their abilities. There's also this one enemy that you can swallow. It just turns you into a rock. Which, like, if you're in the air and you turn into a rock and you like land on
you drop hard
and you can take them out, but then like you can't move because you're a rock, so you have to unbecome the rock.
How do you do that? You just get hit?
No, you can just hit. I think you can just move. Like
Okay.
hit B again or something. But it's kind of funny. So I played like a whole episode or a whole level being the rock, and I just thought it was funny because anytime I see an enemy, I just drop on them. And then if they run into you, they also die. So it's like a very like, that's definitely the tank, but it also like takes longer.
Yeah, it's
like
a slower playthrough.
Yeah, there's so many things that you can do in it. I had a blast and a half with it. I was really enjoying it, and it's just kind of silly too. And there are ways that you can grab. They're kind of like a Yoshi. There's this thing where it's like a big cat, and they like kind of hold you. Honestly, it's weird. And I thought about how I'm going to explain this, and it's just weird, but bear with me. So it's like a cat, but if the cat was a kangaroo, and Kirby turns into a ball where the kangaroo's pouch would be, and the cat's like riding you, and you're like rolling because you're a ball. And it's
Interesting.
Weird. And
yeah, I can picture that.
But if you have the broom ability, when you become the cat, or I guess become the ball of the cat, you fly like a witch. Which is kind of cool. You fly like right off the ground with the cat and you. So that's cool. So there are, in each world, there are 6 levels, and then you fight a boss.
Okay.
And it's kind of like Mario in that sense, where you get through the levels and you fight a boss. But so I've beaten 2 bosses. So I've done like, I guess that would be 12 levels plus 2 bosses. And they were fun. I think I died the first time I battled each one of them, and I was just because like you're kind of figuring out their
abilities and
what to do, and but yeah, it's really easy because so the only way that you can attack somebody is like in Mario you have to jump on top of them,
right?
In Kirby you have to swallow something and then shoot it back at the boss. So it's more complicated than like a Mario because the boss is shooting things at you, and if they touch you, they hurt you. But then if you swallow them, you can shoot it back at the boss.
I see.
And then also like the boss is also like physically coming at you too. So if you get touched by the boss, then you get hurt. But I really enjoyed it. It was really fun.
I have a question. Would you now play with Kirby on Super Smash Bros?
I always play with Kirby on Super Smash Bros, man. I gotta have the ones that have the extra jumps because I'm so bad. I gotta have the Kirbys, the Pits, the Lucarios.
You drop on people's heads with the rock.
I would do that. Is that a move in the new Super Smash?
Yeah, you could turn into a rock and just plop down.
Dang. Yeah, I actually. This is funny now that you mention it. I almost bought the new Kirby for the Switch, but I had never had any experience with the franchise before, so I was really hesitant because I was like, I have no idea what I'm getting into.
So now you're gonna do it.
Well, if I see it on like a discount, I would definitely pick that up.
Dude, I think so too. You've convinced me to check out Kirby, and what better way to do it with 2020 graphics and a Switch, you know?
I'd be about it. I would definitely play the one that you have on the online, because I mean you might as well. But because they have a couple too. And they have a couple other Kirby games that I was not into. They're not side scrollers, and I don't really know exactly what they are, but they did not have they just didn't even look fun. So I didn't really
Give
like
them
one kind of
attention.
looked like a Dr. Mario kind of thing,
Mm.
like basically like a Tetris. But maybe I'm thinking of something else. But yeah, that's Nintendo Online. Do you have any games that you didn't check out that you would like to check out of the rest of the titles that they have out there?
Link.
Oh, dude, I really want to check that one out too.
I want to check that one out, especially given we've had like the Breath of the Wild episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Still playing Breath of the Wild and loving that game now.
Where are you at now?
Now I'm past. I've went and I spoke to Ipa. Is that her name?
Impa, I think it's Impa.
Yeah, Impa. And I'm just out and about exploring, just collecting collecting stuff, going to the merchants. I bought a new set of armor, so I can like fight mobs more often now. And I'm doing the Blake. I'm just going around exploring now and just trying to like really get a grasp for the game now and the different mechanics. It's such a like well-made game, and it really is beautiful to just like see the moves being done, like the fighting moves, and
Do you like the
moving around
ability to
in my armor.
Do you like the ability to like parry and do backflips now?
I haven't been able to do backflips yet.
Oh, you
Parry,
haven't gotten to
yes.
that? Oh, you
Parry,
just go ahead.
I think parry I could do, but backflips I haven't gotten to do backflips yet.
Oh, did you do the temple in the city where Impa is?
I'm pretty sure I did.
Did you follow that road up there? Like further down? Do you know?
No.
Did you talk to the fairy?
Nope.
Dude. So in the town where Impa is, if you follow that like path up to where the shrine is and you do the shrine, that gives you the ability to like backflip. And I think they also give you another parry. If you were able to parry before, I think they give you another parry and the ability to like lock onto an enemy. But then if you follow that road up a little bit more, there's a fairy there and you have to pay like 100 rupees or something. And she gives you the ability to upgrade your clothing.
What do you mean upgrade your clothing? Like improve the armor that you already have?
Yep.
And how would you do that, with coins or just like materials?
You don't do that with coins. You just do it with materials that you can find.
Okay.
I think that a lot of the things you can find in, she has like a glade, and I think that you can find most of it there. I might be wrong on this, but I think you can either upgrade things twice with her, or you can only upgrade things once with her. But then I got to the point where everything I'd like upgraded it to the max with her, and she said, there are other fairies out there in the land, like go rescue them. And I was like, okay. But it's funny, because like the fairy like definitely hits on you a little bit. She's a flirt.
So is the concept like the fairies are like kind of like mentors, and they have like a variety of skills they can offer you?
I would say, I'm gonna say no, because the only thing they do is they just give you the ability to, at least as far as I know, they give you the ability to
So they
upgrade
teach
your
you. They just
clothes.
teach you new things.
And I think that they're trapped. I think they have been trapped by the calamity, which is why you have to like, and I think that's why they give you, or they offer to do that for you, is because they were trapped.
So that you could spank good old Ganon.
Yeah, dude. How are you liking how the story's going so far?
I like it a lot. It's hard to like not pay attention to the story.
Yeah, dude. I think I'm a little bit further in the story than you right now. So once you get a little bit further, I pretty much know for sure now, but I had like a sinking suspicion before, but now I feel like I know. I feel like I know what's up. I have some predictions
About what's gonna go down.
Yeah, and also like what's happened before.
Okay.
Because I mean, like you wake up with like no memories, and you're kind of like on the hunt for that.
Yeah.
Which actually, I think I might have got too far. I think I surpassed you. But I haven't played Breath of the Wild in like a week.
Dude, we got to get back on the Breath of the Wild. Hit him with another Breath of the Wild episode.
Yeah. There's one more thing that I want to talk about before we end it today. I beat the final gym in Sword.
What? So you're ready? You got a team that's ready to go to face off the league?
I think so. I'm also like right now though, I'm on my Pokédex. I'm just fiending on the Pokédex, man. I'm really trying to get as many Pokemon as possible. I also have really been. I'm trying to decide if I want to breed some Pokemon before I hit the league. So I guess I'll tell you guys my team. So my team right now is I have a Lucario. That he's been the OG.
Fighting and Steel. Can't go
Mhm.
wrong with that.
Can't go wrong with that. I have a Raichu and
A Raichu. Oh man, those things are fast. This is a fast team you have here.
yeah, actually it is a fast team. I also have a Malmara, which I'm really into.
What is Mal? I'm not familiar with
Dark
that.
and Psychic.
Is that from the latest region?
Yeah, it's this one right here.
Ah, wow, that's a badass like psychic.
Yeah, it's really cool. This is the Pokemon that you have to evolve upside down. So like whenever I got to level 20, I had to flip the switch upside down, and that's how I evolved the Malmara. But he's
That's
a beast.
hilarious.
He's a beast. I really like him. He's kind of like this squid looking thing, and he's got like bioluminescence on him, and I'm really into that. I also have a Ninetales, it's a Gardevoir.
That's it. Yeah, I love that Pokemon.
Yeah, I kind of got that one a little bit later in the game. That's a later addition to the squad. I had Hatreem, but then after a little bit, I just realized that
That's another psychic type, no?
Yeah, I just kind of realized that
You really love the
Gardevoir.
psychics.
Yeah, I realized that they had better stats. But
That's a fast team, man. I mean, honestly, I would be upset with a team of like tanks. You'd take us out quickly.
Yeah, I have Jellicent too. That's my last member. I took Rillaboom off.
Try to remember, is that like the jellyfish one, the big one? Is that not a psychic one as well? Water psychic?
No, it's a water ghost.
Water ghost. Okay.
Yeah, so I've got steel, fighting, lightning, fire, dark, psychic, and which I mean that's my fave. And water, and I made sure I had a water because I know I'm gonna have to fight was it Charizard?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I'm gonna have to fight him.
You're gonna have to fight a few dragon types.
Yeah, but I think that I got that set because my Raichu has a fairy move.
Ice beam. Oh, fairy. Yeah, fairy works well.
Yeah, I have a couple Pokemon that just didn't quite make the cut. And like I really want to take Rillaboom, but I just think that I don't know. It's just
well, he's definitely gonna help you beat the league just because the starter Pokemon all have like boosted stats because they're starters.
Yeah, I don't know. I to be honest, man, I really think I messed up with getting Rillaboom. I think that I would have preferred Sobble.
Do you want to trade?
I actually, dude, I wanted to talk to you about this. You played Shield. You're playing through Shield right now, aren't you?
Yeah.
Dude, we could help each other out and finish out the Pokédex.
We totally can.
I have a couple Shield exclusives that I got from NPCs, but I could, yeah. I'm working my way through getting the sword exclusive so we can trade. I just caught a Ditto today on my lunch break, which I'm really excited about. So I'll be able to breed. I'm really pumped about that. I'm gonna try and breed my Rillaboom so I'll trade you a spawn of my Rillaboom.
That'd be nice. The nature is important
In the Rillaboom.
And when breeding Pokemon, just pay attention to the nature. Like certain natures are more like when you train them, they are apt to increase certain stats. Like an adamant nature, for example, when you level up a Pokemon with an adamant nature, their attack stats increase more than like any other nature, like per level up.
Okay.
Just something to look into. It's called EV training.
Yeah, I'll have to look into that.
If you're gonna breed, because that way it'll just like maximize your efforts and give you like really powerful Pokemon.
Yeah, dude, I'm really excited to get into this. Like I've been trying to breed Pokemon this entire game, and I've just had like no luck. Like every time I do it, they're just like not compatible. And I finally just was like, fuck it, I'm gonna get a Ditto so I can do that because I think Dittos can breed with anything, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so I really am excited to get on that, and I have caught a lot of the final evolutions of Pokemon, and I'm just gonna breed them and then get an egg to get that.
Get the first one.
The first one filled out. Yeah. I have some exciting news, dude. I caught my first shiny Pokemon this past week.
What? Which one was it?
I think I texted you about it. It was the
Yeah, you did text me about it.
Marini, dude.
The toxic one? The toxic and steel?
Oh, it's the poison and water.
Poison and water. Okay.
I think yes.
Yeah, I love that Pokemon.
Marini. But it's a cool color.
Dude, you got
it's like all
so
pink.
lucky.
I was like shaking. I was like so nervous. I didn't want to hit it at all. I would just put it to sleep and just throw Pokeball after Pokeball at it.
And you didn't hit it once.
I think I did. I was too scared.
But how many Pokeballs did it take?
I don't remember. I'm not quite sure, but I don't remember. Actually, I do remember because I wanted to bring this up. I would throw Great Ball and like Ultra Balls, and like they really weren't doing the trick. But I have honestly found that in this game, just the regular, like plain old Pokeball works for me so much better. Like 9 times out of 10.
That's
Isn't that
hilarious.
weird? Does that happen to you too?
No, I totally agree. Like sometimes I'm in a cave, so I'll try and use a Dusk Ball, but then I'll just throw the Pokeball just because I'm like, whatever, and it works. It's really funny how that works. I think it's just.
I feel like they might have done that on purpose. And like honestly, now that like, I mean, I haven't beaten the game, but I've beaten the gym challenge. And at this point, like I can honestly say, like I think this is an amazing entry point if you wanted to get into it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things, like if like you wanted to be like us and like get in the weeds and catch a shiny Pokemon or go after Gigamax Pokemon and do EV training, like you totally can. But then you can also just have like the straight up story, which is I'm very interested to see how the story progresses, and I really am so excited to catch the legendary Pokemon.
Oh man,
and I'm suspicious of the chairman, dude. I mean, I feel like something's about to go down. But
I can't speak too much on that, but
I know. And I think I also have more news for you, dude. And I've been grinding on this game, dude. I've been playing it so much this week.
What's your Pokédex at? So let's just right now, so we know on this episode and all of our listeners as well.
Gotcha.
Like how many have you seen and how many have you caught?
So I've seen 304. That's what I've seen.
God damn.
And I think there's 400, but that's before you can buy the expansions. And I think a lot of them, I think you get access to, or not access. I think that you get the ability unlocked to catch legendary Pokemon after you beat the whole game, right?
Yeah, you can go back and like find them in like the weirdest place. It's really fun.
Yeah, I'm really excited for that because I have 2 legendary Pokemons, even though I haven't beaten the game yet. I found a couple, and I'm so mad because the reason that I beat the final gym is because I saw like a legendary Pokemon in the wild, and I could only at the time catch up to level 55, and it was a level 56, and I was so pissed. And I haven't seen it again. I've gone back to the same spot every day.
Trying to get it,
and
you just can't.
I'm angry because there's a different legendary Pokemon in its place, and I've caught those, but I have not caught the one that I'm looking for. So I've seen 304, and I've caught 227. And I think I did.
That's more than half.
A count, yeah, that's more than half. And I'm feeling good because I did a count this weekend, and I think I was like at 34 Pokemon that I could get from breeding or evolving.
Ooh.
And then there's like 34 or something around there Shield exclusives. So if you add 60 to that, I'm close to 300. I'm feeling pretty good. But this is I have 2 more exciting things that I really want to talk to you about. So I have a master collection of Gigamax Pokemon.
Of Gigantamax.
Or yeah, Gigantamax. I have 5 now.
What? Which ones do you have?
So the last time we talked on the podcast about this, I had the Butterfree and the Garbodor, and those were Gigantamaxed.
Yeah.
And actually, hold on, I'm just scrolling through right now. Yeah, so I now have, so obviously I had the Butterfree, the Garbodor. I have the Gigantamaxed Orbeetle.
Orbeetle.
Which looks fucking sick. It looks like the mothership.
Fast.
It's crazy. It's cool.
That's a fast Pokemon.
It is?
Really fast.
I'm going to check its speed right here. Actually, the speed on this one isn't too bad. It's pretty good. Actually, no, my speed is, oh yeah, it is. It's good.
It's an Orbeetle.
Mm-hmm. I'm surprised that I haven't. I might train this one up because it's a bug psychic.
I would definitely give you a recommendation to like vary as well, because it seems like you have a lot of speedsters.
Yeah, I should probably get some more tanks.
Get a tank that can like eat up a bunch of hits and allows you to like heal up.
Yeah, because a lot of my team is very similar, but I mean, I like what I like.
No, yeah, definitely you are like a trainer, a Pokemon trainer in every sense of the word. Like you find Pokemon that you really like and you train them up.
Yeah, but I also have like a whole box pretty much of Pokemon that I am training up just for when we eventually are able to do our Pokemon battles and stuff like that.
Dude, that's gonna be so fun.
Dude, so I also have a Gigantamax Snorlax, and the final one that I almost didn't catch because I almost didn't realize it was Gigantamax, but it's the, oh gosh, I gotta think how to pronounce this. It's, oh gosh, the Duraludon.
Don't tell me which one that is. He's like a blue kind of like.
He's like the one that kind of looks like a dragon in steel. He kind of looks like a skyscraper.
Okay, I see. Yeah,
that one.
Yeah, but that guy looks like a 5G tower.
He does, dude. Oh my gosh, that's that's funny. And I also got this isn't a shiny or a Gigantamax, but I figured that you'd like this Pokemon. The Godra.
Godra. How do you spell that?
Godra. G-O.
Goodra.
Goodra.
I used to have a Goodra on my team. Yeah. The slimy cool. Pokemon. That's literally the description, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Slimy Pokemon.
Contact with this Pokemon lowers the attacker's speed stat.
Yeah, it's an interesting Pokemon.
That one's cool.
I love seeing it animated.
Yeah, it like moving and it's like hair, tails, kind of things that kind of flap.
When you're like fighting, I think its ears like go up.
Yeah, it like slaps things with its ears. It's kind of
so
cool.
Badass.
It's very cool, dude. But I was able to catch there are two of the legendaries. I was able to get the Leafeon and the Umbreon.
Ooh, I love those.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see.
Umbreon is really cool. Leafeon, I really like the psychic one as well. I think you might as well. Espeon.
That's the one that I saw but I couldn't get.
Dude, that
really hurts.
Is that the one that was like level 56 or something?
Mm-hmm.
That's what. Oh man!
As soon as I was done with that, I was like, "This is never happening to me again." And I went.
I feel like you might breed Espeons because you love them that much.
Dude, I might, man.
Psychic type.
I might. I'm thinking about. I don't really know how that happens, but I guess that there's a way that you get a Master Ball in this game. Do you get that after you roll the credits?
Yeah, I have 2 Master Balls. I've stacked them from playing this story on 2 games, and I just sent one to the main game through trading.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't really need it. Like, use your Pokeballs.
I'm thinking about saving my Master Ball to see if I can get a shiny one of those.
A shiny Espeon?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it'd be good. Yeah, Master Ball is perfect for like those types of things, like just like a super rare catch that you don't think you're going to be able to catch at all, like a Ho-Oh. Like if you Ho-Oh is a legendary Pokemon from the Kanto region, I believe. It has like colorful wings, and if you run into it, it's probably gonna run away from you if you hit it.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Like some of these legendaries are like that, like the legendary dog Pokemons.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard of those? Entei,
They're the ones from
Raikou,
like Pearl, right?
Suicune. I think they go a little before, like they from a region
Mm.
before, but
Okay.
they were definitely in Pearl,
Okay.
because they're just such a popular like group of legendary Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude,
Um,
I'm really excited to be able to find those. I'm really excited for that.
Stoked
That
for you
that
too,
whole
man.
aspect of it, man.
And
I
you're
think
getting to it, no? Because you're at a point in your Pokédex where like now it's just like the tricky things, the things you got to wait like for a certain time of day, or like the
mhm.
legendaries.
Yeah. I'm getting close to that. There's still so much that I got to do. And I'm gonna get the after I beat the game and roll the credits, I'm gonna get the expansion packs just
You
because of how
should,
much I've
dude.
loved this
You're
game.
gonna use it. I mean, it
Hmm.
makes sense.
I'm also thinking about trying to do like maybe even like making my own like Nuzlocke rules and like doing like a Pokemon sword run, but like a Nuzlocke. Have you heard of those?
Is that where like you give yourself a rule where it's like I won't like run out of Pokeballs, or like I won't use my starter, like something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, there are different rules. Like it's basically like you kind of create your own rules. Like there are like set lists where it's like you can only get the first Pokemon that you see on a route, and that's the only one that you can get. And then there's also like the most common rule is if your Pokemon faints, you can't use it again.
Oh, like hardcore. Like if it's
It's like
not, it's
hardcore.
dead. It's dead.
Hmm.
I've seen mods like that where people like mod the Pokemon game for it to be like that. It's really fun.
Yeah. I'm thinking about doing I I'm so hesitant to do that because I feel like I wouldn't like it playing like that because I feel like it would just like I sink so much time into these games specifically really have the ability for me to just sink time into. So I
Yeah,
kind of don't want to I feel like it would prolong my game time to where it'd be like, oh, like I got hit, like I gotta run heal back up. And
yeah,
I don't think I would like that, but I think I would do something where like I can only use Pokemon I catch in Dynamax dens, and I can only use um, these like legendaries. I think it would be cool to do like if I could breed a legendary Pokemon and like have that start out with me in my starter.
yeah.
Do
That would
like
be awesome.
or do like
Or
the
like something I used to do a lot of is like EV train a whole team of like, as you know, I really love dragon type, so I would have
Mhm.
like my like visionary dragon type team, and just like have like the best natures and just start the game over and build them up, um, to level 100. That's something I used to do. Also developing my teams, like putting my teams through a program where it's like it shows you your strengths and your weaknesses and what types you're more prone to, and just trying to develop like the most balanced team. Something I would do. I need to do that because seems like I'm gonna have to fight you soon. So I got to
Yeah.
get my team up, man. Got to put together a really mean squad.
Yeah, I'm really excited. And I'm really excited for us as well because I think I've alluded to it on the pod a little bit before, but I've been working on an Excel spreadsheet that would basically like pick a like a it would pick like a gym scenario that one of us would be the gym leader and the other one
I
would
love
play
that
through it.
concept.
I think that's really cool, and I'm really excited to do that. And I think that I mean we've kind of talked about this outside of the pod, but I think that we want to stream that, and I think that would be really
Totally.
cool. And we're kind of figuring out how we can do that, and if it's feasible for us to do that in the near future, because it does. I think we have to buy the capture cards and
Yeah.
stuff. But
I think I might have one.
really,
Yeah, my
I'm
uncle
gonna.
used to capture gaming for Modern Warfare back in the day. So I'll see if I can pull that up.
Yeah, I think you can find online like the specs I think I have something pulled up, so I think I might send that to you.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm really excited. We were planning this episode for about 2 weeks, so I'm really excited that we were able to do it. It felt very smooth, and I hope that you enjoyed listening to us talk about those Nintendo online games. And don't check out Super Mario Kart.
That's the takeaway. If anything, just don't check out Super Mario Kart.
But yeah, there's so many like other ones that I'm excited to check out as well. Do you have any that you're like outside of these? You said Link.
I'm upset that there wasn't any like Pokemon. I was looking for. I was like, where's like the really old titles? You know,
that would be really cool if they were able to put like.
You know what I think
Fire
it is?
Red. I've never played Fire Red, man.
That those titles are just so like good. I feel like they would take away time from like newer titles, and they're like, no, let's not do that. They probably do think about that. Like certain titles, like let's not put them out because it would just take away attention from other things.
Yeah, especially like for free too. Well, I mean, it's not for free, but like if you pay for the online presence. I really was wanting to check out. I think it's like Breath of Fire. Did you see those games?
Fire.
I might not have said that right, but it was like a turn-based combat kind of game, and it kind of gave me the vibe of Pokemon, but like in like a fantasy world. I don't think you like caught monsters or anything. I think it was like you in a sword and just kind of like a turn-based combat kind of thing. But
I think I saw a Dragon Quest.
There was a Dragon Quest in there.
I'm not sure though.
Yeah, we'll have to dive a little bit more into it.
Into that gaming thing, the Dragon Quest. I'd like you to play it because I think you'd enjoy it.
Have you played a Dragon Quest?
Yeah, I've played like 2 Dragon Quest 7, I believe, on the DS, and the only Dragon Quests I've played have been on DSs, and it was a very enjoyable experience.
Dude, have you heard about the
latest
Dragon
one?
Quest 11, the new one?
I haven't, dude, but I want to buy it. Dude, I need to buy that shit.
I'm really interested in that. I'm really on like a fantasy kick right now.
If you like Breath of the Wild, you're gonna love this one.
I'm really feeling it, and I really think that we need to. I mean, obviously, for our listeners, I'm away from my home. I've been living and quarantining outside of my home for that's been a month now. So I've been away from my box for about a month, but I mean, I guess I could play this on my Switch, but me and Brandon have talked about starting Skyrim runs.
Oh, yeah.
That would be really fun. Dude, we've got a lot of fantasy games right now. And honestly, dude, I wanted to bring this up before we got off today, that there just haven't really been a lot of new titles. And even though like everybody's kind of fiending for the new Xboxes and the new PlayStations, there's really not a whole lot that you can play. So we're really excited to take some steps back and take a look at some older games. And I'm just so pumped for that, dude. Like I'm pumped to get into like Skyrim, maybe Dragon Quest 11, keep going on. Like, dude, I'm just so excited. There's just so many games out there, and I feel like we're just scratching the surface on what we want to talk about on our platform.
And like what we're going to explore, and it's exciting. It really is. I can't wait to just take it one day at a time and like, see it as it unravels. It's been a really fun experience so far already. And I just want to take this moment now that we're talking about it to just say thank you to you and to the listeners, for making this all possible.
Thank you to every single one of you that's listening. Also, thank you to you, Brandon. I have so much fun doing this, dude. But just seriously, like an extra like thank you to all of our listeners. We got a lot of listeners out in Pennsylvania. And shouts out to you guys. That's really awesome. We noticed that there were some international listeners as well in both Romania and Great Britain. So the UK. So shout out to you guys for tuning in across the pond.
Across the pond.
But yeah, thank you to everyone that's been listening. If you have any questions, you can reach us at thestickybuttonspod@gmail.com. Feel free to send us an email if you have any questions, and we'd love to talk to you about it. If you also have any game recommendations or something you'd like us to check out, send us an email there. We're also on Instagram the Sticky Buns Pod. We post some stuff. We post our episode art the day before and have some other stuff. You can feel free to message us there as well if you want to reach us or ask us any questions.
And yeah, I think that's a good place to wrap it.
Yeah, definitely. So thanks to everybody and have a great one. Good night.
Have a great one.
Peace in the streets.
Peace in the streets, y'all.